when it comes to problems involving Venn diagram, how can we interpret the word problem? Well, the first thing you need to consider doing is to form an equation using the fact that the total number of elements in the region must be equal to the number of elements in the universal set. Okay, now let's try to work out some examples. Okay, so here is one. In a class of 36 students, 29 do chemistry and 29 do physics and 20 do chemistry. If 5 students do neither, how many students do chemistry but not physics? Okay, now we said let's the first circle over here to denote those that study physics and the second one to denote those that do chemistry. Now whenever you hear about the word neither, it means those that didn't participate in the particular thing. Okay, now we said 5 students do neither. It means these 5 students doesn't do both physics and chemistry. So that is the reason why they are being placed outside the circles. Okay, now for those that do physics, they said it is 29 students. So we have 29 to be written over here, and they said we have 20 students to do chemistry. So we have 20. Okay, now the universal set returns out to be equals to 36 because we have 36 students to be the total or the sum in total. So U to be equals to 36. Now we are not given the value of those that study both or those that do both physics and chemistry. So let's denote that with X. Now it turns out that the value of those given to us as those that study physics or chemistry is 29 and 20 respectively. Now out of these values given to us, we have those that study both physics and chemistry among. Now, in order to get the value of those that study only physics or chemistry, then we need to remove the value of those that study both of it from them. So therefore, this equation over here turns out to be 29 minus x. And at the same time, this value over here turns out to be 20 minus x. So this equation will give us the value of those that study physics alone or chemistry alone. So the next thing we need to do is just to go ahead and sum all this up and equate it to be equals to the universal set. Okay, so therefore we're going to be having 29 minus x plus 20 minus x plus 5. Make sure you don't forget the neither. Those that are outside, okay, they are also among those in the universal set. They are also a student, so you need to add them together. So it equals 36. 29 plus 20 becomes 49. Plus 5 becomes 54. So this negative x over here will cancel positive x. Then we have 54 minus x to be equals to 36. Let's bring 36 to this side and take x to this side. Okay, so therefore we have 54 minus 36 to be equals to x. So therefore the value of x turns out to be equals to 54 minus 36. Let me use my calculator. 18. So we have the value of x to be equals to 18. Now that we have the value of x, we should be able to find the value of those that study chemistry but not physics. Now, how can we find the value of those that study chemistry but not physics? We're going to be making use of this formula over here, which is what? 20 minus x. So therefore, chemistry alone will be equals to 20 minus x. But the value of x is 18. We have 20 minus 18, which is equal to 2. So therefore, we have 2 students that study or that do chemistry alone. So that is how to provide the solution to a particular problem involving set or Venn diagram. So let's try to work out more example. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, try to subscribe now. Okay, now let's move forward. In an examination, 31 candidates passed chemistry, 29 passed physics, and 3 failed both subjects. If 50 candidates sat for the examination, how many of them passed chemistry only? Now, if you want to try to provide a solution to this problem, feel free to pause the video and try to work it out. Can anyone figure out the universal set in this particular problem? So that should be simply equals to 50, because they said 50 of the candidates sat for the examination. So the first circle over here is representing those that passed chemistry, while the second one is representing those that passed physics. Okay, so they said we have 31 to be those that passed chemistry. So we have 31. Let me write this clearly. While for physics, they let us know that it is 29. Okay, they said 3 failed both subjects. Now it turns out that whatever we are going to be discussing within these 2 circles will be those that passed either of this subject or the both. Now, when it comes to those that failed the subject, then it's going to be what? Outside the circles. So therefore, we assume that those that failed the subject will be what? Those that what? That are neither, that did not neither passed chemistry nor physics. So therefore, it will be outside the circles. So we have 3 to be outside the circles. So unlike the previous example, we are not given the value of those that study or that passed both chemistry and physics. So let's denote that with x and try to provide the solution to the value of x. So let's try to find the value of x. Now, since we are having an overlap, that is intersection between C and P, that is chemistry and physics, out of the values given to us, there will be what? Those that study both among them. So it means we are going to be having 31 minus x and 21 minus x. Okay, so let's go ahead and sum all this up. So we have 31 minus x plus 29 minus x plus 3, okay, to be equals to the universal set 50. Okay, so 31 plus 29, so that should be what? 60, or yes, that should be 60. Then 60 plus 3, that should be 63. So we have this negative x to cancel this positive x. Then we have 63 minus x to be equals to 50. So unlike the previous example, let's bring x to this side and take 50 to this side. Okay, so it means we're going to be having 63 minus 50 to be equals to x. So the value of x, it turns out to be equals to 13. We are not done yet, because we are being required to find the number of students that passed chemistry alone. Okay, so what equation will help us to get the value of those that studied chemistry alone? This is simply the appropriate equation. So 31 minus x will give us the value of those that studied chemistry or that passed chemistry alone. So chemistry alone will be what? 31 minus x. X is 13. So we have 31 minus 13. And that simply equals to what? Let me try to use my calculator. So we have our final result to be equals to 18. Okay, so hopefully you guys are following. Okay, so let's try to work out one more example. Okay, if you want to try this question out, feel free to pause the video and try to provide the solution to the particular problem. In a hotel, the breakfast menu is a choice between yam or plantain or both. The Venn diagram below shows the choices made by 25 guests of the hotel. Find the value of x. X turns out to be the value of those that study modes or that choose. Why am I just keep repeating study? Maybe I'm somehow used to it. So we have yam, we have plantain. Okay, so x denotes those that choose yam or plantain. That's yes at the same times. So let's go ahead. What is the universal set? So that should be equals to 25. Okay, now the next thing we need to consider doing is to sum all this up and equate it to be equals to 25. Everything has been done already. They have interpreted. We just need to try and find the value of x. Okay, so let's go ahead on summing this up. We have 2x plus 1, okay, plus x minus 2 all squared, okay, to be equals to 25. Okay, so 2x plus x becomes 3x. So we have 3x plus 1 plus x minus 2 all squared to be equals to 25. Now let's try to do some algebra with the particular ones raised to the power of 2, since we have an exponent. Now, what exactly is the meaning of x minus 2 squared? So x minus 2 squared is simply equals to x minus 2 multiplied by x minus 2. It's just like having x minus 2 multiplying itself twice. So let's try to expand this. Now, in order to expand this, what we need to do is just to distribute each term for themselves respectively. Multiply this, multiply with this, multiply this, multiply with this. Okay, so let's go ahead. So we have what? X times x, x squared. X times minus 2, minus 2x. Minus 2 times x, minus 2x. Minus 2 times minus 2, plus 4. Minus times minus becomes positive. So we have x squared minus 4x plus 4. Okay, let's replace x minus 2 all squared with x squared minus 4x plus 4. So therefore, this expression over here, it turns out to be in this form. Plus x squared minus 4x plus 4 to be equals to 25. So I need to get rid of this expression over here. So hopefully you guys have written it down. So we're going to be having 3x minus 4x. So that should be minus x. Okay. So 1 plus 4, that should be 5. So it means we're going to be having x squared, okay, minus x, okay, plus 5, okay, to be equals to 25. Let's bring 25 to this side. So it means we're going to be having x squared. I mean, we should bring it to this side. Okay, for the sake of those who might be wondering where where exactly I'm referring to. So we have x squared minus x plus 5 minus 25 to be equals to 0. So plus 5 minus 25, that's minus 20. It means we're going to be having x squared minus x minus 20 to be equals to 0. Now it turns out that we are having what we call quadratic expression. So you can use any of the method you think you are most perfect in. So let's try to factorize this. We need two values. Now when we multiply it to give us the product of the first term and the last term. And at the same time, when we add these two values, it will give us the middle term. So let's make use of minus 5x and positive 4x. When we multiply this, it will give us the product of first and last term. And when we add this, it will give us the middle term. So therefore, we're going to be having x squared minus 5x plus 4x minus 20 equals 0. Okay. So we have, now the next thing is to take out the GCF. Okay, so x is common, we have x minus 5. Okay, for the other part, 4 is common, positive 4. Okay, so we have, let me write it properly. So we have x minus 5 as well to be equals to 0. So which means we are going to be having x plus 4, okay, and x minus 5, okay, to be equals to 0. So x will either be equals to minus 4 or x to be either equals to positive 5. So since the value of x has to be positive value, therefore we are going to be what? Choosing this as our final answer. So the value of x is equal to 5. Okay. So here's an exercise for you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, like I said earlier, make sure you do that now. If you want me to review your answer, feel free to comment it in the comment section below and I will reply to it as early as possible. Thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate that. You are given a Venn diagram. It's being interpreted and you are being required to find the value of what? The universal set and the value of x. The said number of elements in P union Q is equal to number of elements in P union Q prime. Okay, so that is it for this video. Thanks for watching once again.